Hello and welcome to the Red Dragon Spiral. It's Tuesday, March 25th, 2025, and just squeezing this in at the last minute. It's been a full-on initiation for me today with lots happening. Hope you've had an amazing start, and I just feel so fired up, feel such hope and inspiration, really. And I can't explain that. It's just the energy at the moment that's happening, and things are really feeling very, very different. So I hope that is the same for you. And just going to start with my insights for today and some of the divinity codes. So we're coming in to this cycle in Aries. And again, one of the big things that has come to me over the past few weeks is doing these cycles. I've just intuitively felt to look at the specific times and dates. And I'm going to be creating a document for this, and I will be getting it out there. I'm making lots of resources at the moment. So even though my life is completely mad, in terms of got so much going on, and I don't know how I'm finding the time and the energy really to do it all and process it all in my brain. Somehow I am at the moment. So Um, fingers crossed that that is going to continue because I'm building a house with my husband at the moment. And yeah, lots been happening around that today as well for him as an Aries. It's his birthday coming up soon. Anybody whose birthday is today or in the next 13 days, you are in the Red Dragon Wave spell for the energy of your year. And so this video is going to be very relevant for you about that because it's an initiation, literally. And this particular spiral is for 260 days. And as I said, it's in Aries. So it's all about who am I, my journey, the child coming in to the planet, literally being born, the hero and heroine's journey. Lots of different metaphors for this, but this is the solar wheel has just begun. We're at spring equinox time. The sap has risen. We're ready to go. We're ready to go out and create on the land for the next 6 months. And that is a very powerful time. So, more about that in a moment. Let me go back to the cycles. And so, the last time we were in this energy was the 30th of March 2020. And in the UK, the lockdown began on the 23rd of March, which is also my mum's birthday. My mum died in the last 260-day calendar. So she is not here this year. And I do feel this very strongly about just really tuning into why we're here and what we're passionate about. And life is short, it really is short. And just really paying attention to our health and our strength and shining our light for the time that we have here, which is literally the blink of. So back then, she was with me, she was living with me because I brought her down into my home. And that was moon. Mayan moon number 9, solar moon, day 24. This time around on the 25th of March, we're on again solar moon, day 19. And the next time we will be in this energy will be the 20th of March, 2030, which is a very significant date in terms of predictions and cycles. So I'll be saying more about that on another video. That will be in Moon 9, day 14. And so that is going to be very significant. Now, going backwards, so again, if you want to use this to look back on your life, which is what I believe this is designed for, I know a lot of people are focusing on the outside with it and what it predicts in terms of the bigger cycles, and all of that is very relevant. For me, over the past 14 years, I've focused on my personal patterns, and anybody I've worked with, I've used this dream spell to create a picture of their life, and it is absolutely mind blowing. So there's a book in the works at the moment that I am going to be sharing, and I'm just going to say a little bit about it tonight as well. The first draft of it is a journal that people can use on a daily basis. Again, this is something that really came to me in 2020, so that was the blessing of the lockdown. It allowed a lot of great things to happen for people to really get some clarity about life. And so that's important. So you think back to that time and just reflect on that. What happened to you then? What was initiated for you then in your personal journey? Because in this Aries cycle, this is very significant, and you can apply it to your own life. And that is the most important thing for you as an individual. So, we're here to be the story of us as an incarnation of the divine. We're here for a reason, for a dream, something that we have come uniquely to share, and to be courageous and bright and emphatic about that. That's the Aries energy, to be passionate about what you believe in, because the astrology is so powerful in Aries. There's so many transits, and again, I'll come back to that in a moment. Okay, so 2015, 2010. So for me, I can look at very big personal events. 2010, for example, was just before I moved to Glastonbury, which was a huge shift in my personal evolution, being the heart chakra and the third eye chakra, 52 ley lines, the zodiac on the landscape. I had no idea of that when I was drawn to go there, went there, no job, no home, 3 weeks to find something with 2 children. And of course, found a place. And the person who I rented the house from had the same birthday as me. Again, I can say loads of these magical stories. And this is what this tool has given me, is the ability to decode my life and see how it has been written, and now to see how I want to rewrite it. So for me, this is the awareness that it gives, the new beginnings. This is what it's all about. This is what this time is about. Ancestral alchemy, so that we can personally change the story of our ancestors, keep the great stuff, heal the wounding stuff, and become wiser and unlock the secrets and have a magical adventure in this life because all the astrology is aligning now for us to do that. Okay, so 2005, 2000, 1995, which is when my son was born. At that time, the calendar, the dream spell was the 24th of April, which is Taurus energy, and so on and so forth. So it goes back, and I can map it, and you can also map it using the decoder. You can put any date in there, any person in there, and start to work out the universal divine plan. And it is mind blowing. I was born on the dream spell of the 24th of May, 1965, which is Gemini. And again, this is like the next awareness. Every cycle, I get something new that I intuitively download, connect to. And my mum was in her red overtone serpent year when I was born. And again, I don't know the significance of this yet, but my son's birthday is on the 29th of March, which is the new moon and a solar eclipse as well, and day 5 of this wave spell. And he will be going into his red overtone serpent year. So again, you can just work out so many different patterns, so many different perspectives. And for me, it is just a miracle. It's just really a miracle. And it just blows me away totally. I can't say how much I value beginning my work, even though I resisted it so much with this dream spell. It is beyond anything I have ever encountered. And it just helps me believe more that that is a divine plan that we are a part of. Okay, so as I said, I'm going to put that all into a document to help map cycles. It's all going backwards because this 260-day cycle is a fractal of the 26,000-year cycle, which is the precession of the equinoxes. So it's like we're going backwards in time, we're rewinding, and we are unlearning, if you will, as well, what we've been programmed into, especially around the Gregorian calendar. Sorry, we've got a glitch there, so I'll say that again. Especially around the Gregorian calendar. Okay, because the Gregorian calendar takes us out of alignment. Okay, so I just want to share with you some cards that I've got for today. The portal of transcendence. And of course, we're in a portal today. The calendar always ends its cycle and begins its cycle with a portal, a galactic activation portal, an Akashic record portal. So again, whatever you've been doing today is very significant because it's going to be influencing the whole 260-day cycle. So the cards that I'm using are the Mayan Oracle cards, and I am designing my own cards at the moment, and they are specifically for the 52-day cycles. Anybody who has worked with me As I said, this came up in 2020, and so it's chunking it down into manageable pieces. 52-day cycle is the red castle. There are 5 52-day cycles: red, white, blue, yellow, and green. And each has an initiating 13-day process in red, which is expanded in white, then blue, and then yellow. Green is the extra overtone at the end, which is just particular to the calendar, not our personal cycles. We have 4. And so I'm just going to bring up, here we go. So I'll just hold that there for a moment, and then you can see Portal of Transcendence. You can stop that there if you want to have a look at it. Okay, so qualities: bliss, stargate, ecstatic communion, secret doorway, seen and unseen, emptiness of the void, unknowable, unknown, revealed, and revealer. I am beyond, yet within, above, yet below. The unknowable and the known, the seen and unseen, journey into my formless potential, merge with my emptiness, and discover your fullness. Come, child of the cosmos, you are being revealed in the forthcoming miracle. Enter the beckoning portal of the greater reality. Travel into the starry vastness in the greater constellation of self. Fulfill your yearning to merge with the one heart. Soar into the oneness of shared essence. Burst old bonds and limitations. Breathe the divine breath. Expand to include more of who you truly are. The portal of transcendence is the secret doorway you have long sought, the stargate through which new worlds are seeded. Open now to ecstatic communion and the rapture and grace of unconditional love. Awaken to the joyful celebration in this realm where there is only love. Drink deeply of your homecoming. Experience the sublime bliss and unity found in the eternal present moment. Freed from separation, there is no doubt that you are love's presence. Fully merge once again with the serene vibration of home. As you return home, renewed and awakened, embody the joyful frequency of heaven on earth. The new frequency of the golden octave new frequencies of the golden octave now dance within you in the splendor of the unified pulse. You are the conscious dreamer awakening to the dream. Assist in the creation of the conscious dreamer awakening the dream. Sorry, did I just say that wrong? Assist in the creation of the quantum leap that will catapult the earth into a new spiral of being. You are the knower. You are the oracle. You are the love. There is no other. Wow. And to me, that to me just reminds me of a cervix and being birthed into something else. So it is just like a birthing tunnel. And it really feels like that. It feels very powerful. So the cards that I've pulled for today are number 5 of cups, disappointment. So for me, the 5th card is always about mastery. So we take it into overtone, and which is going to be day 5, and the new moon and the solar eclipse. So we've got 9 degrees of Aries, which I'm going to read you in a moment. And so mastering disappointment is what this is about. Again, of course, I've drawn these cards for me with the intention of sharing them, in this video, but still. And then we've got the Hierophant, which again is number 5. Love how this works. These are Thoth cards, so check this out if you want to know the bigger meaning of that. The way that I see this, again, these are fabulous cards, which you can see there's a lot of detail in there. They're very, very deep. In this first 13-day cycle, we are awakening to our mother line. That's my perception. We're awakening to our ancestral mother line codes around survival. And because the whole framework for me is about how to heal and change that story. And so I mix Red Dragon, the first Mayan sign, the first 20-day process, as well as the first 13-day process, is we're on a journey to go from number one, this initiation. What do we want to birth? What's our new story? What's our new chapter, our new beginnings? Because every spiral builds on the last one, where we looked at our childhood, the fourth house in the zodiac, Cancer. How are we mothering ourselves? How are we nurturing ourselves? And how are we letting go of any corrupted codes? Because the planet is Neptune. More about that in a moment. And so Neptune at its highest octave is about transcendence. It's about amazing esoteric wisdom. And for a long time, it has been in Pisces, which is very much about spirituality. It's about dreams. It's about the collective unconscious as well. And so we've been floating around in that very emotional energy. Its shadow side is around addictions, not having good boundaries, delusions, illusions, addictions because we don't want to feel, we can't deal with what's happened in our life, what's happened in our ancestors' lives. So, how to block it out, not feel. Sometimes a coping mechanism of not wanting to see things as they really are. And that's going to shift on day 6, which is White World Bridger, the 30th of March, when Neptune goes into Aries for the first time in 165 years. Totally different energy. And wow, it's going to be so dynamic and exciting around taking action. You know, the warrior in us, the adventurer, the fool who sets out on his journey. Jason and the Argonauts is one of the myths that I love. Just an amazing energy. And so I've been doing lots of research on that. And yeah, it's just mind blowing what that energy can bring right on the heels of the solar eclipse at 9 degrees. But the what I always do is I always choose the Leo meridian time, which is 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. because I focus on the heart energy. So I'm just going to redo that. Again, this is inside degrees. It's a channeled degree. And if you want to check out any of these degrees and you want to check out your sign in particular, because you've got lots of degrees in your chart, I just love this. Just gives more depth, I feel, to what is in your amazing map, your cosmic codes, your natal charts, your transit charts. And to me, it just illuminates things so much more and makes it really magical and sacred, this journey that we're on. So at the time in the US Eastern Time here in Naples, Florida, it was again waning moon as we are working up to that new moon in Aries. Waning moon in Aquarius at 13 degrees. A lidless granite sarcophagus. It is empty. There is nothing to go back to. The past has become a phantom. You are propelled forward into the great unknown. But it's so easy to become somewhat desperate and out of context. So much depends upon how you interpret the fact that you're strictly on your own without a personal history or heritage to fall back on. Is this real opportunity or a strange fate? It's very hard to tell the difference as it all becomes ambiguous, paradoxical, very mixed. Where do you go from here? No easy answers anywhere. Perhaps the only thing to do is to acknowledge and move with this radical opening and to put no interpretation on it, assuming nothing at all. Or if you can welcome multidimensionality with truly open arms, it might well turn out that the future was never supposed to be like the past, and that becoming so free does provide an open access channel for what needs to happen to come through a jump ahead of the last moment, synchronized with evolution beautifully. Wow, that is just so amazing. I've not read that sigil before. And yeah, mind blowing, isn't it? Really amazing. Apologies for the glitches. I don't know what's going on with the internet. So just bear with me. Okay, so here's a calendar, and if you want one of these, it's free and you can just download it from my website, flowwithjo.com/resources, and it's there under Mayan Synchronizer. So there are all sorts of different Mayan calendars. This one I created myself, drew it myself. It's not the most perfect calendar, but actually making it and doing it, and if you want to do it your own, even better, because it does take you through the process as you do it yourself. And you learn so much in doing it. Like each one of these is like a separate scroll as well, and has a little block in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 to each one. Made this years ago. I can't even remember when I made it. But this is the importance of this whole thing, is for us to get back in tune with the universe, because we're out of sync with the Gregorian calendar. It's so important. I can't even begin to explain it, and maybe I'll make a video about that. But if you read any of Jose Argalis's books, again, amazing. And I've just read a couple recently, and it has really awakened me to the importance of this and not staying out of alignment with natural time, because we are just like anything else on the planet, any other living being on the planet, and everything is living, everything natural is living and resonance and has a consciousness. And the more that we attune with that, the more we shine, we become healthier, and we once again align with the universal wisdom rather than all these distortions that have made us so ill and diminished, really dimmed, because we're not living in the way that we should be living, reaching our full potentiality. So there's 20 mind signs, and as you can see, there's the DNA on there. These are the Akashic record days, and this aligns with the Pleiades, the Seven Sisters. Again, look at the myths around that if you haven't already. This is very much aligned with Venus. And so, again, if you look at the myths of Persephone, Demeter, Iana, ancient myths, they all tell the story of Venus and its journey through the skies. And again, this is a huge subject, which I'm not going to go into right now, but just check it out for yourselves because Venus really is about maturation. And again, there's some amazing videos out there at the moment. And Heather, can't remember her last name, but I will look it up and I will post a link underneath. She's just done a great video with another lady, and she talks about these ancient myths and times in the past, in the precession of the equinoxes, when there was different consciousness on the planet and things were a lot more in balance. Of course, now we're at the tail end of the toxic masculine energy and the return of the sacred feminine. We're at the end of the Kali Yuga cycle. So we're coming into transcendence and alignment as a race, which sometimes it's hard to believe, I know, but yeah, that's what everyone's saying. So let's keep the hope there. Well, again, just focus on ourselves and do our own personal healing. That's what it's all about. So, yes, maturation as a human being, we've got to become mature, grown ups, take responsibility, and come into sovereignty through healing our ancestral patterns. Which, once you really get into this and you get into astrology, for example, you start to do this healing work, you look at your own ancestors and your family tree, and you see, aha, I am repeating that cycle in some way, and I'm going to change what no longer serves me as a human being. Red Dragon, 20-day process down to Yellow Resonant Sun, which again, as you can see, is another portal. So in the first one, we have got 13 days, which takes us down to number 13. Number 13 being very important, cosmic shift, number, and process, not like the number 12, which is in the Gregorian calendar. Number 13 is the shift, and we've got Red Skywalker. So we're running from Red Dragon to Red Skywalker in this first 13 days, where we're going to go through all these different archetypes. And each of these 20 archetypes, cosmic programs, there's no hierarchy. They all work in a spiral process. So each one of these, in the first 12, which takes us to yellow human, is a human being process. Then we get to number 13, and the Skywalker is the human being who is ready to do the inner work and heal and create heaven on earth through themselves. And to put that in another way, using emotional language, is when we're at peace with ourselves and our life, truly at peace with everything that has happened to us. That's not excusing abusive behavior, but it's coming into acceptance that we cannot change the past, but we can change how we feel about it. When we do that on an energetic and emotional level, everything changes because we're in this huge mystery school. All our challenges are bringing us into sovereignty. And although it's a difficult time at the moment because all of our shadows are so huge on planet Earth, that is for a reason. The universe is always trying to get our attention, keeps bringing that story round again so that we can heal and find a solution. And that's very much what the Aquarius sun is about as well. Sorry, Aquarius moon is about, and sun, but the moon is about coming into a place where we are not pulled everywhere, by our emotional story and still running the dramas. It's so we can be centered, we can be grounded, and we can understand that this is always about a past story. And then learn the tools to free ourselves from that. And miraculously, everything does change. So, one of the things that I've done to assist people in their process is I have designed, well, partly designed, a journal for people to use through these processes. So I've done this in the past with ebooks, and people have always wanted to print them off. And so I needed to make a user-friendly guide. So I've been working on this on some level for 5 years. And my life has been hugely transformative, changed continents, moved a few times, and had the huge journey with my mum last year, especially. And so, like most people, I haven't had a lot of time really to do anything else. It's been very, very active and haven't even been working with people a lot or doing a lot of workshops or anything like that. And that is life, isn't it? There's times in our life where we've just got to focus on what's right in front of us and work with that. Now I'm starting to find more space and really getting back into this again. I do it every day. I have a daily process of connection, and it has made a huge difference to me when things have been very stressful. I can use these tools to focus on my bigger picture and my path. Okay, so in here, there's some information. Eventually, this is going to be for sale online. And so there's lots of information generally. There is, when I find it, hold on. Okay, here we go. So this section is important because this is something that you can use every day to start to create your book of shadows or a manual for yourself. So you will teach yourself about your life. And it's just so amazing. I mean, I've got lots of these books, but not in a very organized space like this. And so every 5 years, you'll be able to pick that up if you choose and see just how far you have come if you're doing this healing process. So today, day one, red magnetic dragon. So you can put in the Gregorian date there so you can cross reference it. And if you know your 13-year cycles, you can put your date in there. So, for example, for me, today I'm revisiting when I was 18 in 1983. Is that right? Yes. Sometimes it does get mind boggling when you're crossing over the dates, but yes. So, what does that mean? Well, it means that everything's in there that we've ever done, everything is logged in us, in our own personal computer, however you want to describe that. Even though we may not recall it, because of course, if we did try and recall everything, it'd send us mad. We wouldn't be able to function. But it's in there somewhere. And once you start to learn more about yourself and how you work, you can find this amazing treasure within you. And it's just setting a process in place. So it's like uploading a program for yourself. And I started this process in 2007 when I did an NLP practitioner course, learning about my own patterns. Also, today it's going back to when we were one in the first house of the zodiac, which is a natural placement of Aries. So, the question that I've put is, what am I awakening to around my sacred feminine path, the mother, survival, thriving? So when we have healed our survival issues, our mother survival issues, we can then come into thriving. What are my Neptunian distortions, addictions, illusions? What am I attracting into my holograph for alignment? What is seeking release? How can I nurture myself and thrive? So again, instead of putting a positive spin on anything and everything, sometimes it's really valuable to just be honest because, hey, you know, deep down, we can't really lie to ourselves. I know that sometimes we do for a long time, but if we've got stuff going on in our body, for example, the body doesn't lie. It tells the truth about where we're at. And so today is a really good day just to have an intention and see your magnet. So the magnet is the feminine, it's what we're attracting in. Instead of resisting it, saying, no, I don't want that coming into my life, it's coming. What we seek is seeking us. And instead of seeing it as a problem, it's an awareness. Remember, we're awakening. This first 52 days, we're looking around us, seeing what's coming in, feeling the truth of how we're feeling, and initiating a new journey for ourselves. But before we can go anywhere else, we have to take stock of where we actually are and who we are. So, and so on each day. And like I say, it's got other resources in there. So I have asked some people to trial this for me because I want it to be user friendly. Of course, people are at all different levels. Some people are complete novices with this language and system, and some of you are very familiar with it. If you would like to trial this for me and review it for this first 13 days and give me feedback about what works for you, what doesn't work for you, I want you to be part of my design team because my passion is about getting this stuff out to the world at this time to help people navigate their journey and their process and understand what on earth is going on and see it in a positive light, to have hope, and to know that we are powerful beings. We chose to come here at this time to assist in the transformation by transforming ourselves, because that's the only thing that we can change. So please message me, put a comment down below, or you can click on my website and free consultation, free, I think it's free clarity call now. Fill in your details on there, and if you want to know your codes, your own personal codes, I will need your date of birth to do that. So I hope to hear from you. I hope you have an amazing journey and start rewriting that story, blaze that trail. And if you're a woman and you want to join the New Moon Circle, it's back online, it's back on Zoom, it's on Saturday, the 29th, the solar eclipse day. It will be recorded, so if you can't take part live, you will get the information. And if you want your personal cosmic codes that are going to be illuminated at that time, please do contact me as soon as possible so I can do that for you. So lots of love, and hope to see you in the very near future.